Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the premium XP-50, a very strange aircraft, a battle rating 4.0 in air realistic battles, has 50 cal MGs and 20mm cannons which you can absolutely, well as you can see we absolutely destroy that BB-238 there, which is nice. This aircraft, it feels a bit pay to win, hence the name of this video. It gets an air spawn, it climbs like an absolute machine. The only real downsides of this particular aircraft is it's not a fantastic dogfighter and its engines overheat like there's no tomorrow, but having said that they're also quite easy to cool. It's not quite like the Spitfire where you get to turn off your engines just to get the temperature down a few degrees, but having said that they are getting a bit toasty as we dive on this 109G here as we get some shots on target, miss him but getting severe damage on his tail, or is that his wing? I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because he's dead. Anyway, that's 2 kills, absolutely gorgeous. Now there's this Russian aircraft chasing after us here, although because our engines are just that powerful we are pulling away from him with absolute ease. Now I think he actually pulls off as we go for altitude here. As you can see, he does actually start to disengage, which is very good because that gives us free reign over this altitude and who we want to target. Now as you can see, everyone is quite low to the deck here, and I'm not entirely sure who we can actually target because they're all involved in other dogfights. Now, as you can see, I'm having a look at the horizon because I think I saw a bomber go that way earlier, and as we can see, he is actually beneath us now, about 3 kilometres. So, another thing worth mentioning about the XP-50 is its dive performance. Its dive performance is almost too good because it goes very fast very quickly and tends to rip its wings at around 700 clicks. But having said that, we are being shot at, we are also shooting back. We set him on fire, get his fuel tank, knock his wing off, happy days. That is 1 dead bomber, although we've lost our main advantage here in that he's actually damaged our left hand engine. It's not necessarily combat incapable, it just means we get slightly less power than I would have initially thought. Although not all is lost because that bomber does actually die in the end, which is nice, and everyone seems to be on the deck, and as I say that gives us very much free reign over who we want to target. Now as you can see there are more enemies, there are more friendlies here than enemies, and this 109 seems to be sort of trying to run away after getting a kill, so I think, well, no one seems to be catching him, so we're going to dive after him ourselves and let's see if we can get rid of him. So we get some 50 cals on target, set him on fire, no we don't, we break his wing off and get a pilot snipe, which is always nice. So I believe that's us up to 4 kills, things we love to see. Now once again we're going for altitudes, and there's not exactly many enemies around here. It's at this point that I consider going back to base, possibly getting my engine repaired. Although, as I say, if I get any rate, there is only 1 guy left, and we do actually spot him being that 190 over on their airfield. He looks like he's just re-armed and refueled. There are 3 teammates, 2 teammates even ahead of me, so I'm debating if I should even go and try to get him. But I mean, we are closing up to him very, very quickly here, and as you can see, this Corsair as well seems to be eyeing him up. The eagle-eyed of you may notice we're out of cannon rounds, which may make this a bit of an interesting engagement. However, 50 cal's are nothing to scoff at, because from experience they actually don't spark, which is nice. Now we get guns on, pull away, and actually pilot snipe him, which is good, and that gives us our first ace of the day. Absolutely lovely. Now into another game here. Once again, we have gone for a bit of altitude, and there are these 2 Year 2 bombers. I believe they're Soviets, Russian bombers. I rarely actually see these guys because usually I don't really play it prop tier these days, but when I do, it's good fun, mate, regardless. So we're going to dive on this Year 2 here, and I completely underlead this. As you can see, we try and get guns on, open fire way too late, although we do actually break his tail off. He personally looks fine, despite the fact that he's missing a stab, but apparently that's enough for War Thunder to consider him dead. So, you know, whatever, 1 kill, can't complain. P-38 going after his second Year 2, gets a few hits and disengages. Now, here we go, try and get some guns on to finish him off. However, it's at this point in time where I'm like, why aren't my guns doing anything? And then we get absolutely guided. Connection to the server was lost. That's fine, wouldn't have it any other way. So we try to re-engage. At P-38 now gets guns on. Get a few hits on him with the 50s, nothing too major. I almost killed myself there by flying through his fire, but luckily we're okay. Kill assist, not too shabby. So him out with 1 kill. Nice little P38 tailing us. Love that. Now he goes off to get that J21 on the deck. I'm a little bit confused because personally I'd keep this altitude here and go for these 190s and I-185s, but this I-16 is coming straight towards us and, dare I say, looks a bit AFK, so I get a little bit of lead, fully prepared to break off, but I don't have to. Guns on, severe damage on his wing, and, well, if he is AFK, then he's crashing. That's nice. Now, this 190 actually sees us. I was hoping he wouldn't, but he takes a head on. Once again, gets some guns, pull off, and break his wing off. Puts him in a nice big flat spin. And that is another kill secure, as my thing seems to be a little bit everywhere these days, but it is what it is. Now, once again, free reign at this altitude. There is a Piomersky, I think that's how you pronounce that, heading back to land as we sort of look behind us, not too sure who to engage. And then we see this I-185 bullying one of our bombers, who does actually get shot down, which is sad. So I think, well, he's by himself, as far as I can see. We'll actually come back to that in a second, but we start to dive on this guy. He's very quick, I gotta say, he's a very fast mover. So it's a good thing we do have some altitude on him. As you can see, we are actually starting our dive already, you know, at the cusp of 700 kilometres. And we're catching him, which is good, as we try to get some 50 cals on, but I don't leave those anywhere near enough because, well, to be honest, I'm used to using the M350 cals at this sort of speed, but it doesn't matter because he turns, we break his wing off, and he is as good as dead. Now, speaking of being as good as dead, I see the Spitfire above me, which is not good because he's got altitude on us, he can outturn us. I'm trying to put the XP-50's dive performance into use here, trying to possibly pull away from him, although he does start getting some hits. I panic, so I start a tiny bit of a turn and steepen our dive, end up right on the tail of this LA5, who's on the back of our friendly Zero here, as we get some cannon rounds on target and absolutely shred him apart. Now that has given the Spitfire a chance to catch up. I start throwing some shapes, trying to get his guns off, hoping his P51 can maybe help us, but too little too late. We've lost all elevator control, critical damage to the left wing, and you know, only control we have is the rudder. Not that that's much use here, really good instead, you know, fair play to the Spitfire. We finished that with 5 kills and a kill assist, so not all is lost. And just for those who would like to see, the Zero did actually end up shooting down the Spitfire, which was very satisfying to see. It might have only been with MG rounds, nothing too satisfying, you know, no cannon rounds, no big fires or structural failures or anything like that. But yep, guns on Spitfire, and he absolutely pies it into the ground. That's nice, and that is when I quit the replay, funnily enough. So thank you, Zero, very cool. Into the next. So 15,000 feet, got some altitude over this 190. Try to dive after him. He actually starts to dive because I think he sees us, although owing to the XP-50's dive performance, once again we start to catch him. Try and get some guns on, but he actually throws some shapes. We don't quite have the yaw authority to get those on target, so we disengage here, and we convert the speed into some altitudes. Try and pull away, although we do actually have a pursuer. We have this J22 with those, I think they're 50 cals, I'm not too sure, but he almost gets guns on. Although, having said that, he's relentless, and I try to use this to my favour here by pulling some moves, try and get our nose over on top of him. He can't quite get guns on, and now he's effectively stalled out underneath us. So we get some 50 cals on target, try and get some lead on him, and severe damage, set him on fire, break off his left wing. Absolutely lovely. Now there's another J22 just above us here. And I think he was expecting me to not see him, because as you can see, we actually burst climb into him, and we are catching him very slowly. We're not quite within what I would consider to be gun range. He starts to level out, because I think he might be thinking that I might be stalling, which I am actually, I'm stalling here, but having said that, I've got my nose in the right place, cannon round on target, severe damage, he's dead. Absolutely lovely. Being entirely honest with you guys, I wasn't actually expecting to get that kill. I was hoping that I could just stall out and use our dive performance to pull away here. As risky as that would be, but it doesn't matter because he is very, very dead. Oh dearie me. Do as I say, not as I do. Hey, this is it. Now, as you can see, time accelerating here because there's a few aircraft on the deck, and our team seems to have things under control. I do see this A21 joining the fray. And looks like he's going head on with our Corsair, who does seem to get some rounds on target, but the A21 is also dead. Now, to make things interesting, I thought let's best go for this guy because there's not really much going on, and get some 50 cals on target. End up getting severe damage with a single burst somehow. I've never thought 50 cals worked that good, but it is what it is. I sort of look back over towards him and think, you know, what did I actually do? And as it would turn out, a single burst of 50 cals completely took his wing off and gets us another kill, which is always good. So, burst climbing for altitude once again. We didn't have much speed to work with that time, but having said that, compared to where we were, you know, this is just testament to the XP-50's climbing performance. Angel 7.5. And as you can see, we're now going after, we're not necessarily going after this 109, we're just trying to get involved, which we will be able to because he's actually diving down, trying to get away from our teammates here, and it looks like he's trying to head back to his airfield. 109's dive performance is quite good because he's actually starting to pull away from these friendlies here, but I realise that I do actually have the speed, well not necessarily the speed, but the altitude to turn into speed to get involved. As you can see, we are very, very quickly diving after this 109. We are reeling him in. Key 67 just behind us, so I completely missed. 109 is trying to bait us towards this A6M3 here, the 0. We are redlining in this dive, so this is a bit of a precarious situation, but having said that, I think we're going fast enough to the point where that 0 won't be able to get a good solution on us, which is right, as he does shoot, but he doesn't get any hits. 109 pulls, trying to get away from my nose. Luckily we have the authority to get some cannon rounds on target and shred his wing off. Absolutely lovely. Now, I would continue that turn, but that 0's on us, so I think, no, we best continue towards the end airfields here, which is never a good thing because that AAA is absolutely deadly. Now, straight towards this LA7, try and get some guns on him head on. Pull away, we do get a critical hit on him, and looks like we get rid of his engine, or not his engine, sorry, his wing. I don't know what it is about me today and getting critical hits and severe damage on wings, but it's resulted in some nice kills, so can't complain. This 0 is still chasing us down, as you can see, but luckily for us, we do have the speeds to control this engagement. As we start to turn around, I'm thinking I might be able to catch him in the head on here, now we've got enough separation. AAA is opening up on us. 0 throws some very strange shapes, which is what you're supposed to do. As I completely mess up these few shots, I think, oh no, you know, he might have nose authority to pull onto us here as we start to dive away, use the speeds and disengage, which we do manage to do. 0 is now facing us, but he's already over a kilometre away, so we do have the, once again, we do have control over this engagement. Our engine's getting a little bit toasty here. This is what I was talking about earlier on, that it gets hot very quickly, but at the same time, it's nice and easy to cool. As you can see, we do start going for some altitude now, and luckily our teammates start to show up. So I start to do a bit of an airmail man here, try and get some guns on, because we do have control plus reinforcements in this engagement now. 0 starts going after a teammate. I'm not quite sure which one, but it doesn't matter because he ends up turning right in front of us. And this time I get the appropriate lead, set him on fire, and get a lovely pilot snipe. Now last guy, not the last guy, second to last guy here, it seems to be about 190, who is actually coming towards us. I think he's trying to go in a bit of a blaze of glory, so to speak. As you can see, we start turning into him, get guns on, he gets guns on us. I don't want any of those 190 cannons in the head on, so I disengage. And P51 gets guns on. And absolutely shreds him. There you go. Off goes his wing, and he is not recovering from that. Now, last guy is that I-185 over in the distance who just disappeared as that 190 crashes. Going to do a bit of time acceleration because we don't get anywhere near close enough to this last guy to get a kill. But having said that, an unlikely contender for this kill actually seems to get him. This dive bomber actually manages to get a kill. As you can see, we are closing in. This is just me checking to see how high level he is. Doesn't matter though. Dive bomber shreds him apart, gets the kill, and that is 6 kills. Anyway, thank you guys ever so much for watching. I do enjoy flying this aircraft. Like and subscribe for more content like this. Check out my merch store if you want to support me. Fly safe, and I'll see you guys again soon.